You're listening to Morning Light. My name is Simon Rusnag. Who doesn't love a coffeehouse-style concert? Familiar tunes and a relaxed atmosphere make for an enjoyable afternoon or night out with family and friends. That's the plan for the Prairie Songbook, Camerata Nova's upcoming concert at the Park Theatre. To hear more about it, I'm joined by co-director Mel Braun. Good morning, Mel.
Hi, Simon. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing very well. You know, I just heard on the news this morning that this past February was the 9th coldest on record. And March is off to, I guess, a better start. But this concert, if anybody has winter blues, sounds like just the remedy.
Yeah.
Well, was that the inspiration for the show?
You know, let's say it was.
Well, it works out very, very nicely, doesn't it?
It works out very well. You know how winter in Winnipeg is. And I read in the paper, this was the coldest winter in 40 years, something like that.
Yeah.
We had a young fellow from North Dakota coming to visit at the faculty yesterday, and he said, "We're in for a flood. I lost my house in 2004. We know we're in trouble." So,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, so before all of that, the Prairie Songbook takes place, and this is a celebration of, as you guys have on the website here, Wheatfield Soul.
You know the old album from the Guess Who, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So can you tell us, I mean, obviously the Guess Who is on here, but what artists are you guys featuring as part of a Prairie Songbook?
Well, the idea for the concert was to take iconic songs that everybody knew and add to that some of the contemporary groups. So, I mean, Wheatfield Soul, that means pop, of course, our local guys, the Guess Who, and Bachman Turner Overdrive. But it also means Neil Young. It means Joni Mitchell. And Ian Tyson shows up very indirectly at some point. So all these people, plus all our great local groups. So those of you who get out to shows here will be familiar with Royal Canoe and Begonia and those groups.
Yeah. JP Ho, I think, was also on the program.
So the idea was to take all of these and do new arrangements. And so we gathered some arrangements that had already come, courtesy Prairie Voices and Echo, chamber choir here in town, and then farmed out another 9 or 10 arrangements. Because there's always a Camerata collaborative spin on things, and the spin this time was, let's do something new with these songs.
So, I mean, that's just it, right? When I think Camerata Nova, I do think collaboration. But this is a very different take because it's well, maybe not your usual kind of ancient or older or contemporary or indigenous fused music. It is familiar tunes that people are going to be hearing.
Absolutely. And I think Andrew Balfour was saying how some years back they did a collaboration with Richard Moody. And we'd always wanted to do something, and he'd always wanted to do something that involved some of our kids. So he knew about my son Micah, who's a singer-songwriter and guitar player, and about my brother-in-law Vic's boys, Jason and David, who are crackerjack musicians here in town. And so this idea evolved of a sort of putting together pop rock and roll focus with the group. And why not? I mean, we've got great singers. They can manage just about any style, and a chance for us old dads to work together with our boys. In fact, I mean, this is the first time the cousins have played together as a band.
Really?
They've always done their own thing. I mean, they're some of the best young players in the city, but they've never done it as a group.
So what's that experience been like for you and for Vic, if you can speak for him, working with your sons, making music together, along with Camerata Nova?
Well, it's one of those things that you don't get to do this very often. We've all worked together in bits and pieces, but as a group, working with a choir, which is what Vic and I do, what a thrill. I mean, to actually be sitting in that room, and rock and roll musicians have a very different take on how a score works. You know, us guys, we follow our score and we look at our markings. And,
religiously, yeah.
Yes, all that stuff. And they're going by feel. And so, of course, one of the things I had to do was create chord charts for them. I'm playing in the band, too. I'm sort of just the backdoor keyboard man, trying to stay out of their way and just add a color here or there. But when they operate, they know what to do with all the stuff between chords that us guys have to think about. They just do it. And so there's all these fill-in things that happen magically, differently each time, while the choir is pursuing its score. So that two ways of working coming together, it's been a thrill. Just a thrill.
And this concert, I mean, it just gets better because it's not only the family band that is all coming together. It's not only Camerata Nova, but there's also another guest artist who's going to be joining you guys.
Well, so Rain Hamilton, you probably have met Rain at some point.
Yeah, she's been in the studio before.
Well, great.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And so she, from her background, she's a medieval musicologist. But drawn back to making music and has this unique string trio she plays with. And having someone with a voice like hers so pure and her songwriting so interesting has been a whole nother adventure for us. So Camerata, does a lot of drones and overtones. And one of the pieces she wrote, being a medieval musicologist, was something in honor of Hildegard of Bingen. So we're actually doing the drone back up to her while she sings all this stuff. Stuff like that. And her take on things. This is what's so fun. Band comes in and we can play all kinds of stuff, but she can keep saying, less, you guys, less. We don't need to be that inventive because we want to let the songs speak for themselves.
This just sounds like the quintessential Manitoba collaboration. It sounds like a winter jam sesh.
It is.
Up on a stage.
Yep.
So this is a performance that is taking place at the Park Theatre.
Yes.
Have you guys performed at the Park before?
The boys have all performed there, of course, many times. And some of our singers, I think, have performed there with other groups like Canzona.
Yeah.
But we as a group haven't. And so one of the challenges going in tonight for our first session there and tomorrow, we'll be getting all the sound sorted out because everybody's on microphones. It's a different way of singing, as you would know. And so we're going to get everything balanced and there'll be lights and apparently libations available. So,
well, that's exactly what I was getting at. Is just that it's a different sort of feel than perhaps a church singing in the resonant space or maybe a concert hall. But at the same time, it's a familiar feel for so many of the musicians there.
Totally.
So I think it'll, in a way, will add a sort of cohesion that way, bringing everybody together and having that relaxed atmosphere.
Yes.
It sounds like a great show, Mel.
It should be a lot of fun and the arrangements themselves with all the things, if you're going to come, I was able to write some of the arrangements, and so you'll find that James Bond shows up in the middle of Let It Ride. We have a song about cows, which turns into a quadlibet, in which various pop songs show up under the verse, so all of a sudden the sopranos are singing Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah.
How did Axl Rose get into
I was going to say a little bit of GNR slides in.
Yeah. So all these kinds of things are available to us, or the bassist singing I Can't Get No Satisfaction, commenting on the rancher's inability to make a living. So it's this kind of stuff. It's going to be a real fun time. Yeah,
it sounds like everybody just gets to play and do their thing up on the stage.
Absolutely.
Mel, I want to thank you so much for coming by Classic
pleasure.
107.
And thanks for the coffee.
Oh, always good seeing you.
Okay.
The Prairie Songbook takes place Saturday, that's March 9th, at 7 and 10 p.m. And then again on Sunday at 3. For details, you can visit CamerataNova.com.